Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what retirement really means, beyond the money, the numbers, and the spreadsheets? I mean, you've probably asked yourself, how much do I need to retire? Where should I live? Will I outlive my savings? Those are important questions. But today, I want to give you something different. A perspective shift. Something you might not have heard from your financial advisor, your accountant, or even your family. So here's what we're going to explore. Retirement is not just a financial decision. It's a life transition. It's not the end of something. It's the beginning of a new stage of life. And in this video, I'll walk you through 3 powerful ideas that can make your retirement not just sustainable, but meaningful. So stay with me, because if you're in your 50s, 60s, or even early 70s, this could be the conversation you didn't even know you needed. Let's break this down together. First, think of retirement as a stage of life, not a single event. I talk to people all the time who say, I'm retiring next June, as if they're getting off a bus and stepping into a completely different world. But the truth is, it doesn't work that way. Retirement is a gradual unfolding. It's a phase that often begins years before you leave your job and continues to evolve long after your last paycheck. Let me give you a real-life example. I worked with a gentleman named David. He was a dentist in Ontario. When he turned 62, he didn't just quit. He scaled back. He stopped working Fridays. Then a year later, he let go of his partnership. By 64, he was working part-time, mentoring young dentists. By 66, he finally closed the chapter. But his retirement had already started long before that. What's the lesson here? Retirement isn't a switch you flip. It's a journey. And if you treat it that way, if you give yourself space to reflect, adapt, and ease into it, you're going to feel more in control and less like the rug's been pulled out from under you. Now, here's the second key idea. Retirement includes biological aging. This might sound obvious, but let's really sit with it. Because aging, especially after 60, isn't just about wrinkles or gray hair. It's about energy. It's about cognition. It's about how your body and mind respond to change. And that's something you need to respect, not ignore. I met a woman named Claire in Melbourne. She retired at 58 with big dreams of traveling the world solo. And she did, for a while. But by 63, she started experiencing joint issues and fatigue. And it really shook her. She told me, I planned for the travel, but I didn't plan for my body slowing down. That's powerful. So here's what I want you to think about. Instead of trying to cram everything into the go-go years, ask yourself, what pace actually feels sustainable? What brings you energy, not just excitement? Maybe it's gardening instead of hiking. Maybe it's weekend markets instead of airport layovers. There's no right or wrong here, just what's right for you, as you are now. So honor that. Because the best retirement isn't the flashiest one. It's the one where your lifestyle and your health are aligned. All right, ready for the third big idea? Your well-being in retirement isn't just about how much you've saved. It's about something I call the 3 pillars: prosperity, health, and happiness. And here's the thing. Most retirement plans focus only on prosperity. Money, assets, budgets. And look, I'm a financial advisor. I care about that too. But I've seen too many clients retire with enough money and still feel restless, anxious, lonely. Let's talk about Jim. He was a logistics manager in Manchester, saved for 30 years, had nearly £800,000 when he retired. But 6 months in, he was calling me every week. He missed the structure. He missed being needed. He felt lost. So we sat down and I asked him, what makes you feel useful? He paused and he said, mentoring. I love teaching the younger guys at work. So we got creative. He started volunteering with a local employment center. He wasn't getting paid. But you know what he said 2 months later? I feel alive again. That's happiness. And no investment portfolio can give you that if you don't know what gives your life meaning. So here's the big takeaway. If you're building a plan for retirement, don't just ask, how much do I need? Also ask, what will make me feel alive? What kind of days do I want to wake up to? What do I want to leave behind? Because when those questions are part of your retirement plan, you're not just retiring from something, you're retiring into something. Now let's pause for a moment. You've heard 3 core ideas so far. Retirement is a stage, not a date. It includes aging, so plan with your body in mind. And it's about more than money. It's about how you feel every day. In just a moment, we're going to talk about how you can actually start putting this into action. I'll walk you through real strategies, things you can do in your 50s, 60s, or even early 70s, to build not just a financial plan, but a life plan. And trust me, this is where it starts to get really practical. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How do you feel about retirement right now? Excited? Nervous? Unsure? Drop your thoughts below. You never know who you might encourage just by sharing your story. And if this video has made you think differently, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who need to hear this. Alright, let's pick it up right where we left off. So we've talked about the big ideas. Now let's talk about what you can actually do. Because theory is nice, but real change? That comes from small steps, done consistently. Let's start with something simple, but powerful. Start your retirement journal. You don't need a fancy notebook. Just grab a pen and write this question at the top. What do I want my days to feel like? Not what you want to do, not where you want to travel, just how you want to feel. Calm, useful, free, connected. This little habit can help you tap into the emotional side of retirement, the part that most people forget to plan for. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter more than, say, calculating my withdrawal rate? It's a fair question, but here's the thing. If you don't know what gives your life meaning, it's very easy to overspend trying to chase a feeling. I've seen people buy RVs, boats, even second homes, just to realize what they really needed was a sense of purpose or community. So journaling helps you get honest with yourself before you make big decisions. Next, let's talk about relationships. Because one of the most overlooked parts of retirement is social connection. There's this myth that once you retire, you'll magically have more time for friends. But that only works if your friends are also retired and close by and healthy. The truth? If you don't invest in your relationships now, retirement can feel very lonely. So here's a practical move. Build your retirement circle. That's just a small group of people, 3 to 5, who you enjoy spending time with and can be real with. Maybe it's a neighbor, maybe someone from church, or an old coworker. Doesn't matter who, just that they're people you can laugh with, talk with, and maybe even grow older with. I had a client named Susan in British Columbia. She started a monthly brunch group with 3 other women from her old office. No agenda, just coffee and conversation. It became the highlight of her month. And you know what she said? It keeps me grounded. It reminds me that I'm not alone. That's the kind of support money can't buy, but you can build it if you start now. Alright, let's shift gears. Let's talk about identity. This one's sneaky. A lot of people don't see it coming. You spend 30, maybe 40 years introducing yourself with your job. I'm an engineer. I'm a nurse. I work in finance. Then one day that title's gone, and you're left thinking, so who am I now? That can feel scary, but it's also an opportunity. Because retirement gives you space to redefine yourself, not by what you do, but by what you value. Let me tell you about Tony. He worked in IT for nearly 35 years. Very logical guy, structured. When he retired, he felt adrift. Until one day, his granddaughter showed him how to make digital art using an iPad. 6 months later, he was posting his creations online. Now, he teaches a beginner class at the local library. He never saw that coming. But he found a new version of himself by staying open, curious, and willing to feel like a beginner again. So ask yourself, what have you always been curious about, but never had time for? Now might be the perfect time to explore it, not to master it, just to enjoy it. Next, we've got to talk about money, but in a different way, not budgets and interest rates. Let's talk about spending with intention. Here's a little shift in mindset that changes everything. Don't ask, can I afford this? Ask, will this bring real value to my life? Take Bill and Margaret from Perth. They were planning to upgrade their kitchen, had the budget, all good. But before signing off, I asked them, will this make you happier or just busier for a while? They paused and decided to take that money and use it for 3 small trips with their grandkids instead. Same amount spent, very different impact. That's what I mean by spending with intention. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about making sure your money is aligned with what matters now. Because here's the truth. Every dollar you spend is really a choice about how you want to live this next chapter. Now, let's talk about one of the most important investments you can make in retirement. Your health. Not just physically, though that's huge, but mentally and emotionally too. And I'm not going to throw a bunch of stats at you. You already know moving your body, eating well, sleeping enough, it all matters. But let me say this. Your health is your freedom. It's what lets you enjoy the money you've saved. It's what lets you say yes to a spontaneous walk a trip, a dance, a hug. So if you've been putting off that checkup, that walking group, that yoga class, maybe now's the time. And hey, if you're starting late, that's okay. Every step forward counts. One woman I work with in Liverpool started walking 10 minutes a day at 71. Just 10 minutes. A year later, she's up to 30. And more importantly, she feels proud. That's what matters. You don't have to become a marathoner. Just take care of the body that carries you into this next chapter. And finally, let's bring it back to meaning. Because retirement is more than comfort. It's also about contribution. So many people feel like they're supposed to rest and relax all the time. But honestly, that gets old fast. What most people really want is to feel useful, to feel like they still matter. So if that's you, if you're looking for that spark, consider this. Could you mentor someone? Could you volunteer? Could you write, create, teach, build, support? There's a reason we feel good when we give. It reminds us we're still connected, still valuable, still here. All right, let's wrap this up. Retirement is not the end of your story. It's a new season. And like any season, it comes with change. But it also comes with possibility. You don't need to have all the answers today. You just need to stay curious, open, willing to try. You've worked hard. You've earned this chapter. So live it on your terms, with intention, with care, and with heart. If this video gave you something to think about, I'd really love it if you gave it a like. And even more, leave a comment. What's one thing you're excited or nervous about in retirement? Your story might help someone else feel seen. And if you want more conversations like this, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is here for you, for real talk, practical ideas, and a space where retirement isn't something to fear, but something to shape. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video.